Well, hello. It's been a while, I know. I thought that I would come and see you with my face. I've been making some videos lately. Yes, I have. Been a little bit political. Tend to be that way sometimes. Love me, love my luggage, right? But I thought it was time to make a video. I want to about something really specific. Um, it's not politics right now. But other videos for that. That's always on my mind. But I wanted to talk about, I'm just back from a funeral now, and I was officiating, being the celebrant. As some of you may or may not know, I'm a funeral arranger. I do funeral sales. I'm a funeral celebrant or officiant, and I'm also an end-of-life doula. What a mixed bag, right? Um, but today was a tough one. Um, and I might look a bit tired too because it was an early one and it was far away. So I got very little sleep last night and we had to leave early. Hubby was fabulous and delicious and drove me. He was my chauffeur, which is so nice. But it was warm and there was traffic and we just had to go through it. And also, this service was for a young man of the age of 23. And he struggled with mental health issues for most of his life, really. He wasn't born in this country, in England, but he moved here. I'm going to keep it very kind of general about those kinds of things because I want to keep things private for him and his beloved family. But he didn't make it. I'm going to put it that way. I mean, he made it, bless him. He sure as hell tried to hold on to anything. But one of the things he used to say to his mom was, I can't seem to get out of my head and don't like being in it. It's hard. And he was quite tormented. A very talented, beautiful photographer and videographer and a dear friend to a handful of people that he really trusted. But anyway, so that funeral was, I have to admit, I had some tears of my own, which try to keep them sucked back because it wasn't for me. It's for them. But the sound of his mother's heart breaking, those tears, if anyone's ever told you, or if you've ever heard, or if you've gone through it before, and I'm so sorry if you have. But the sound of the mother weeping is something different. Something you don't normally hear. And yeah, you're gonna hear I've got the window open, it's a bit warm, so sitting in front of the open window. So don't mind me if I'm glancing here and there to see who's walking by. But obviously it's not that sound of when somebody first finds out that their baby or their loved one has passed. But it runs a very painful, close second. And I just wanted to go hold her. I mean, she had her lovely husband holding her and some friends on the other side shoring her up. And I did the best I could to read the tribute and the eulogy and give her and him all the love I could, all the compassion, all the understanding that, and this has been said so many times, but it's true. If love could have kept him here, well, I'd not be telling you this story right now, would I? But, the way I look at it, I'm not sitting here to say that he took some kind of easy way out or was selfish or No, not me. I think he was strong and he was brave and he held out as much as he could, and he had purchased 3 Billie Eilish tickets for July, and he was living for that. He was living until he could see her in concert, but he didn't make it. He ran into a tough night, and his dearest best friend tried to get him to hold on through the phone. It didn't happen, and he's journeyed on now, and he's gone to the next place, and I hope he's free from all of that got in his way of a beautiful life, because he surely deserved one. Anyway, what I really want to talk about is this thing that I have in my mind, and I've seen some other people do it too, but it's something I really want to do. I've got to find the right people to do it with, though. As I said, I'm a funeral arranger. I do funeral sales. I'm a funeral officiant or celebrant and an end-of-life doula. I would love to have my own funeral home, be a funeral director, or work alongside one, and be a support, be part of a team, but to be part of a partnership where people could come who have these backgrounds, not just the technical backgrounds, but backgrounds of soul, heart, soul, body, mind, all of it, that can understand that we want to take death and dying back and see if we can detach them from the Victorianism, the Victorian ways that seem to have gotten stuck together there. Because, let's face it, death and dying, they still are things. I know we're doing better, but there's still things that we don't like to talk about. We don't talk about. Shh, don't talk about it. And children, children don't need to know about that. And you just need to be quiet about that, and they don't need to see anything, and nobody else wants to see anything, and good God, But the thing is that long before the Victorian days, right? Think about this, long days ago in America and the UK and all around the world, in some places around the world still happening, is that we all lived together, right? We didn't go live across the ocean from each other. We were born in the house that oftentimes we died in. So babies were being born in the home. So brothers and sisters could see their siblings come into this world in one form or another, maybe not up close, whatever. And also grandma and grandpa, or if somebody got sick or hurt, they died. That happened in the home. It wasn't a big secret. It wasn't some dark, scary thing happening that we don't talk about. We put covers over and it was just part of life. And little ones got a chance to come and say goodbye to mommy or daddy, or to their siblings, or their grandma and grandpas, whoever it was, because it was natural. And I'd like to see that brought back. For those who want to, obviously, I'm not the boss of the world. I just play one on TV. Anyway, my husband might say that. But I'm not the boss of the world. But I would like to support those families who would like to bring that back into their lives. And I'd love to have a funeral home as well, because even after we're at home, say we can die at home, and we get that beautiful gift of being in our bed by the garden window and passing the way we want to pass when we have a good death. I would love to have a place that's beautiful and warm, and you can light candles and burn incense. And if you want to bathe your loved one, anoint them, if you want to put lotion on them, if you want to put some makeup, do their hair and nails, put some strappy, gorgeous shoes on them, whatever it is. You know, if it's something traditional and sacred, or if it's dressing someone so that they can look like they're going to the opera, whatever it is, I would love to have a place where we could do that safely and legally. And I would also like to have a place that understood and was educated about the different ways that we can take care of our loved ones after they pass. And yes, there's burial, and there's cremation, and there's death at sea. But did you know? There's also these new things, and I bet you some of you have heard about this, where you can be a tree. Yes, you can. You can be wrapped in this special shroud that has these seeds so that you, as your body is reclaimed by the earth from whence it came, if that's what you believe, it feeds the earth and becomes the soil in which a tree is born, and you become a tree or a whole bunch of wildflowers. And they do have here in England, they do have like wildflower and wildlife preserve areas where they do allow burials. They just don't allow things like headstones, as you can imagine, right? Because you don't want to put concrete slabs in the middle of all this beauty. There might be little markers so that you know where your loved one is at, but they'd be wood, something natural. Um, but there's more we can do. There's more that can be done. We are not stuck with just one thing, and I know this because I do understand the legal ins and outs. And these things are possible in certain situations with certain people in certain places. And England is one of them. Not everywhere and all the time, but in lots of places there are. And most certainly, there is a large and very big chance that you can pass away at home if you choose to. And hospice can be there to support you should your GP say it's all right. And lots of them do. But a lot of people don't know that. And you know, it's all right too. Some people want to be in the hospital or they want to go into hospice that they feel more comfortable there. And that's all right too. But if you want to be at home, you should damn well be able to do that. You know, and be at places, as I've seen, where people want a little bit of champagne and some chocolate, that's what they can have. If they need the pain medication because they are terminally ill, then hospice is there to supply that. They don't have to suffer. And we can talk about death. We can talk about dying. We can answer questions family members can ask and get support from someone who understands what grief is, what anticipatory grief is, all of the things that are so important that we don't speak about. But I'd love to incorporate all of that. And I know there are a few funeral homes dotted around England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland that do this, but not many, folks, not many. But I'm game. Where are you? Tell me where you are. I'd love to pair up with someone and do this. And even if you can't, and you're just listening to me from somewhere in the world, and you like the idea, tell me so down below. Tell me. First of all, tell me your experience. If you had an experience where that wasn't possible, And if that was difficult for you, tell me if you've had lovely experiences of it. Tell me what you would have wished for, or if those wishes did come true, or if maybe you do have an illness, maybe you do know, and that's what you want. Maybe you need some help because, hey, a girl can hook you up. I can try and help and find things for you. I do have some resources and knowledge, okay? If you're a family member or if it's happening to you, there's a whole world out there that you have no idea about. That's wonderful. Yeah, it's horrible, tough news to hear. But then, of course, you're still living. There's your whole life to follow until that last breath. And then there's whatever's after that, whatever you believe. But don't forget, you are still living and you should have that life that you want. So, talk to me about that as well. If you have questions about anything you can think of that I might know, ask me. I'll tell you. I'm not afraid. And there's just things that people don't know and they've wondered about because, like I said, we've been so secretive about all of this, and there's no need. There's no need anymore. So let's let it out into the light of day and let some light shine on it. Make it sparkle like it should, like these little sparkly lights here. Let's let life be life, which means everything coming into life and leaving from this life into the next. Let's not hide it and shroud it in darkness and fear and questions of the unknown. Why? Why are we doing that to ourselves? Why? So, if you're with me, let me know. If you're someone who's considering that you too would like to work to maybe partnership up on a funeral home as a funeral director, as an arranger, as a celebrant, as a doula, I would love a whole network of us to come under one roof and have our own business where we help families and people. And there's people who don't even have families, they're on their own and they need help. Let's be there for them. I want to do it. I'm here for it. I'm ready. And we can make it a place where we can work it so that those who struggle financially, we can find ways to do fundraising, charitable donation, things like that, to make it so that they can have a beautiful life and a beautiful ending / new beginning. And there'll be those that can afford it, but they just really want this for themselves, or their families want it for them. Because it's possible. Because they don't have to die in silence. So consider it. And after you've considered it, talk to me. Now look, I know there's going to be those of you that are like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't like this. This depresses me. This freaks me the hell out. I don't like it. Well, that's what's so cool about YouTube. There's like a billion channels out there that you can go to that will make you feel better and you'll feel more part of. This may not be for you. Maybe one day it will be. Maybe it never will be. That's okay with me. Listen, I want you to do you. That's what's most important to me. Because listen, I think each one of us has a reason we're here. And there's a way we're supposed to live our lives out. And we all have strong feelings about that. And there's a reason for that. So listen to your gut. Okay? Promise me that. If you don't feel good about it, shine it on, go do something else. If you do feel good about this, if you, something in you is pulling for this, stop here, subscribe, and tell me what it is that stumped you and grabbed you. I need to know you, and you need to know me. I'm T. Nice to meet you. Let's learn about each other, okay? All right. Until we meet again, it's bye for now. See you around. Bye.